Crazy fam, in this video we're going to talk about the new raid weapons that are very unique and come with some amazing perks. I've been very lucky with the drops. I have all the weapons, plus I have a bunch of red bar weapons, and I'll be crafting a lot of them really soon. And since I got many of these weapons to drop with really good perk combinations, I'm going to tell you exactly what you're looking for when you start crafting these weapons, so you don't spend materials on perks that you will regret later on. Some of these weapons are absolutely amazing for PvE, and some are really good for PvP, but you guys know I absolutely love PvP. By the way, I stream here on YouTube every day from Friday to Tuesday. We help a bunch of people go flawless. We have a super positive community, and I would absolutely love to see every single one of you guys on the streams. The link to our Discord is in the description if you want to hop in. Now let's get back to the weapons. We're gonna start with the Glaive. You can make some crazy builds around Glaives right now, and this is a solar one. We know that Bungie is going to be making solar changes, arc changes, so I feel like having all of these weapons that came out this season for those upcoming seasons is a must, because you never know what kind of crazy builds you're going to be able to create with these new weapons. For this one, we're going to take a look at a melee build Glaive. So we're going to be going for handling here. As you can see right here, handling goes up by 14, which is huge. Lose some range and reload speed, really not a huge deal, because we're going for a melee oriented build. So that's going to be a good pick right here. Now in the next slot, the easy pick is going to be Swap Mag. Increases this weapon's ready and stow speed. Once again, we're trying to create a build where I'm using one weapon and then I can just quick swap pretty much to my Glaive and start destroying things right away. Like, I don't have that sluggish kind of handling going on there. Swap Mag is absolutely perfect for that, so I'm going to slap this on. Now in these last two columns right here, this is where it gets interesting. We have a few really good options here, guys. Now, the first one that I've been enjoying a lot is the full survivability kind of build, right? What you can do is you can combine Turnabout with Unrelenting. So let's take a look at Turnabout real quick. Using this weapon to break the shield of a combatant or a guardian using their super will grant you an overshield. So this one right here already is some survivability with the overshield every time you break the shield, right? And then on top of that, let's say you not only are you fighting an enemy with a shield, but you also have like smaller ads around you. You can always kill those ads and regen your health. Rapidly defeating targets triggers health regeneration. Guardians and powerful combatants count as more than one kill. So once again, perfect strategy right here to have some absolutely crazy survivability in those situations. But let's say you're looking for more damage instead of Unrelenting right here. Once again, quite a few options. We have Surrounded, which for me personally isn't the first pick. I feel like Swashbuckler is a better pick for this overall weapon, because this weapon will gain increased damage from melee kills and kills with this weapon. So not only are you going to be increasing your damage every time you get a kill with your Glaive, but let's say you get a kill with your melee, then you have a 33.3% increased damage right away. So if you're looking for those melee damage builds with the Glaive, you can absolutely use Swashbuckler. One thing that I will say though is that this combo right here is absolutely crazy. For example, in the raid, in the third encounter, when there's tons of mobs, you can just run around and slay everything and you're not even close to dying thanks to these perks right here. These two are super strong together. But as I mentioned, if you want more damage, you got a few options here. Swashbuckler is my favorite for this one, and you also have Vorpal, which is a great choice. And then the last one for me personally would be Surrounded, because it's more situational. For the masterwork, I'm going to be looking for handling, guys. As you can see, once we do get that, boom, bunch of handling right here, which works perfectly for our overall melee build. Let's move on to the submachine gun. And ladies and gents, I've gotten a few of these. I gotta say, some of the rolls that I got were really fun to use. Now, as you see right away, the submachine gun comes with 100 recoil direction. So it's actually really easy to control in terms of the recoil. And that's one of the reasons I absolutely am in love with the submachine gun. So instead of recoil direction and let's say picking arrowhead break, what we are gonna do, guys, is we're gonna find something that gives you more range and stability. So let's say even though the recoil direction is at 100, you're kind of struggling to control the weapon, you can go for polygonal rifling for that extra stability right here, or small bore, which will give you both stability and range at the same time. We get small bumps for both of those, and that's what I'm going to be going for right here. Now in the second slot, I love to go for equalized rounds just for that increased range, which really does come in handy with this submachine gun. Obviously, we're talking about PvP right now. Now, I've been really lucky and I got quite a few rolls here. When it comes to PvP, I had Overflow and Harmony, which was one of my favorite ones, because honestly, like if you combine this with something like, for example, Wave Splitter, and every time you pick up that special ammo, you have 74 bullets in the mag and you're just shredding everything. And because of Harmony, what happens is your damage goes from 19 to the head to 22 to the head, so it becomes much deadlier. So I feel like for PvP, Harmony is a really good pick because submachine guns aren't the weapons you're gonna be running around with at all times, right? You get the kill, you swap to this, you have Harmony up, and you're melting people. Now, Overflow is a great option, but I think there's one more that works really well with all of this, and that is Sleight of Hand. Final blows with weapons or abilities while this weapon is stowed increase its handling stability and reload speed for a short duration, right? So what this means is this works perfectly with Harmony because you need to get a kill with another weapon in order to proc Harmony anyway. So what you do, ladies and gents, is you focus on your main weapon. Let's say you get a kill and then you have a faster handling, a better stability submission waiting for you. You swap to it, Harmony's ready, more stability kicks in, and you're absolutely melting people. Now, we also have some other perks here: Swashbuckler, Demolitionist, Killing Wind, Thresh, Frenzy. We also have Bait and Switch, but in my humble opinion, Crazy Fam, Harmony is the best, and it just does so much more damage, makes the weapon much more consistent and much more deadlier. For the masterwork, it's gonna depend, right? If you're still struggling to control the weapon, boom, you go for stability. If you're not struggling with it, you can always slap on more range. And now we move on to the next one, which is a really interesting one actually, Cataclysmic. Now, right away, I'm going to tell you that if you want to use this for PvP, there's no reason to do that because you have Reed's Regret that has Adagio on it, and which means that if you get that first kill, after that, you're going to be body shotting people with that linear in PvP. So I don't think you really are going to be using this one over Reed's Regret if you have Adagio on it. Or should I say Adagio, as I like to say it. But yeah, in general, this weapon is really cool though. Let's take a look at the perks. Now for this weapon, I like to start off with Arrowhead Break for recoil direction and handling. Now there are other barrels here that you can use for more range and stability, but honestly, like the boss fights that we have currently in the game are in general pretty close to mid-range, so you're not really gonna need that much range increase on this weapon. And the stability isn't that hard to control, especially in the meta where people are running Divinity and you have that huge bubble floating around the boss. You're not going to be missing your shots, right? So I don't think you need that anyway. So I would go for handling right here. Mostly I pick this for the handling that I get from Arrowhead Break. Now for the next one right here, I usually like to pick Liquid Coils. And now let's get to the fun stuff, okay? There's quite a few things you can pick here, but honestly, I feel like 4th times the charm, rapidly landing precision hits will return 2 rounds to the magazine, is a freaking amazing pick, right? Because you're gonna keep shooting and you're gonna be in that DPS phase at all times. You're not reloading your gun and all that. Now, where you can combine this to make it even crazier, right, would be the Clown cartridge. Reloading this weapon randomly overfills it from reserves. So not only are you gonna start off with a lot of bullets, but then you're gonna be getting those bullets back. And for example, if you look at the final boss fight in the Vow of the Disciple, usually I go through all of my sleeper shots in the DPS phase, right? But I always have to reload. Now in this case, if you have these two together, you're not going to have to reload at all. You're just going to use all of your ammo, and then you can have much more time to DPS with your fusion rifle or whatever you're using in the energy slot and in the kinetic slot. So I feel like this is going to be really cool. You can slap on box breathing, but for me personally, that's not what I'm going to do. I'm going to be combining these two perks just to make it super fun and super interesting at the same time. I feel like this weapon is just such a fun addition to the linear family, and I can't wait to really craft this one with these two perks right here. When it comes to Cataclysmic, for the masterwork, I'm 100% looking for charge time at all times. You want to drop that charge time as much as possible, make it feel better, and especially once you're combining it with Liquid Coils, it's gonna just overall make the gun so much better. And now we move on on to Insidious. Man, this pulse rifle is something else though. I'm gonna tell you that right now. I've been loving every second of it. There's something about it. You know, some weapons just intrinsically feel better than others. You might have other pulse rifles that pretty much are the same archetype, but they just don't feel the same. And this has happened before, and I feel like Insidious is one of those weapons that, even though we have a bunch of pulse rifles, this one just feels better, you know? It's more stable. The feel of the weapon once you pull that trigger is really cool, and it's not hard to control at all, especially when you start everything off with arrowhead break. Now, the reason you want to do that is if you take a look right here, we only have 78 recoil direction, right? If you slap on this bad boy, it goes to 100. Just all the bullets are going to be going up instead of to the sides. Now, in the second column, this is kind of going to depend if you're still struggling to control the gun, even though you have 100 recoil direction, which is perfect, right? If you're not struggling with it, echoized rounds is a perfect pick because who doesn't want more range? That's what I'm going to be doing, slapping this bad boy on. If you are struggling with the stability, then you have steady rounds. It gives you a bunch of stability right here. You do lose out on some range. But then again, you know, if you're not able to hit those shots at all, and if you're struggling with it, range doesn't really matter that much. So this should be your pick. For me personally, I'm going with echoized rounds. You can pick some of them that like give you more reload and whatnot, but honestly, you can always slap on a pulse rifle reloader. So don't think that that's a necessity in this specific situation. Now, in the last two columns, there's a lot of interesting stuff that you can do. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be rotating between these 4 perks right here. I want to have those damage perks. And the reason for that is as long as you have some kind of damage buff, this weapon becomes extremely more consistent. And both Adrenaline Junkie and Rampage are perfect for that. Now, I'm going to be leaning towards Adrenaline Junkie simply because this season, the grenades are so strong with Void 3.0 that I'm probably going to be getting that 5 times damage buff, which is 33.3%, much more often than I would in the previous seasons. So that's why I'm going to be going for this one. And in general, even if I get 1 kill with this weapon itself, I get a 6.6% damage buff increase, which, guys, it's more than enough to make this weapon much easier to get kills with, and it's just gonna feel more consistent in general, even with the one-time buff as I mentioned. But then you get 2, it's a 13.2, and so on. And this lasts for 4.5 seconds. Like if you take a look at Rampage, it lasts for 3.5 seconds. And yes, you can slap on the Rampage mod, but it will just take it up to around 4.5, I believe. It's going to be on the same level as Adrenaline Junkie. However, if you're already using Adrenaline Junkie, you can have that mod slot for something else. You can use Full Auto right here. You can use Targeting Adjuster. I feel like in general, Adrenaline Junkie this season is a better pick. And we're going to combine it with either Rapid Hit, Rapid Precision Hits temporarily increase stability and reload speed, or Heating Up. Final blows with this weapon increase accuracy and stability while improving vertical recoil. This is going to be up to you, honestly, like which one you prefer, Heating Up or Rapid Hit. I'm going to go with Heating Up probably, but I'll definitely craft one with Rapid Hit also. For me personally, Adrenaline Junkie is going to be the pick for PvE also. Once again, it's just so easy to get those grenade kills in this current meta, and I'm running around with 33.3% increased damage with this bad boy right here. I mean, why not? Yes, you can pick Vorpal, but again, as mentioned, like grenades are kind of OP this season, man, especially in PvE, so there's no reason to pick anything but Adrenaline Junkie. Just throw that grenade, get a bunch of kills, get your buffs, and just melt everything. So easy pick right here. You can use Demolitionist in combination with Adrenaline Junkie right here. Not only are you getting those grenade kills and getting more damage from the buffs, you're also getting your grenade back now that you're killing things with this pulse rifle that has increased damage already going for it. So this is also going to be a perfect combo if you're looking for PvE. Now, when it comes to the masterwork for Insidious, I've said this before, I'm going to say it again. It's going to come down to how you feel about the weapon. If you feel really good about controlling it, then you don't really need more stability. So go for range, and boom, you have even more range, almost like 100 range, 95 to be more exact, which is just badass, right? Ladies and gentlemen, the grenade launcher of my dreams, Forbearance. Yes, I said it. I absolutely love this weapon. And let me show you the perks that I'm going to be crafting on this one. I cannot wait to do it. And I cannot wait to destroy all the ads and everything in general that runs at me. Everything's going to go boom, boom, left and right. I'm telling you that right now. The first perk, easy pick, quick launch. We get more velocity, more handling. We need both on a grenade launcher, okay? It really helps. For the second one, we have high velocity rounds. Once again, we're looking for even more velocity. I want this bad boy to get to the target ASAP, and this is what's going to help with that. Okay, so we're slapping this on right here. Now in this column, there's quite a few interesting options, guys. And once again, man, I know I say this a lot. It really depends on how you play. Do you like to play the game safe? Do you like to play more aggressive? That's what it comes down to, right? So in my humble opinion, we have a few roles here that makes this really interesting. Genesis, breaking a combatant's shields with this weapon fills its magazine from reserves. Energy weapons regenerate ammo on hit when matching the damage type to the combatant's shield. We also have sleight of hand. We went over what that is already. We have Ambitious Assassin, overflows the magazine based on the number of rapid kills before reloading. We have Surplus, we have Steady Hand. So I'm not gonna lie, this first column right here, we also have Stats for All, by the way. Pick whatever you feel is good for you for this weapon. What I do know is that in this last column right here, you don't have to think much. You just slap on Chain Reaction. Each final blow with this weapon creates an elemental damage explosion. Let me tell you, those explosions are extremely beautiful. And not only that, but we're getting the Arc 3.0 rework soon. So you see where I'm going with this, right? This shit is going to be crazy when those new abilities and all the reworked stuff is going to kick in. Whew, it's going to be very interesting. So make sure to get this one. Make sure to craft with this one with the Chain Reaction. 100%. Don't even think about it. I don't care what's in here. I don't care. I'm not even going to look at it. Just pick Chain Reaction, okay? That's all you got to know. Now for the masterwork, you can pick Velocity right here to max it out completely, 100 Velocity. Or you can also go for Handling if you want. Maybe Reload Speed if you're trying to kind of spam the weapon. Now you can go with Linear Compensator here at the beginning to get a bit more stability and reload speed, right? But the problem I have with this, guys, I'm just gonna say it. It stops at 99, and that just drives me nuts. 99 velocity? No. That cannot happen. I just can't have that right here. And finally, let's talk about the Deliverance. First of all, this is the first legendary fusion rifle in the kinetic slot. And I gotta say, it feels so good to have a fusion rifle in the kinetic slot. Now, what about the perks, you might ask? There's a few things we can do here. Arrowhead Break is a great start here because you get recoil direction right off the bat, right? Boom, 100 recoil direction. And after testing it a lot, and I mean a lot in private matches, Onion Knight was also testing this in the Crucible, and he was saying that having that 100 recoil direction really does help. When it's at 100 recoil, your shots are all gonna be going up instead of like spread to their left, to the right, whatever, instead of just being all over the place. By the way, I will link Onion Knight's channel in the description. He's just starting off on YouTube, so I would love for you guys to hop in there, show the man some love. He's a great guy. He's very good at PvP, and he also streams and helps people to go flawless. So yeah, show some love, ladies and gents. That would be very, very appreciated. For the second column, these first three you definitely don't need, right? You don't need accelerated coils because it drops your impact by 5. You don't need that magazine increase, and you don't need ionized battery too. So we have these three left, which is going to be liquid coils for more impact. We have particle repeater for more stability, and finally projection fuse for more range. So pick whichever you want. Final two columns is where it gets really interesting. Let's start off with the first column. I think that perpetual motion is going to be a good pick. We also have steady hands. Kills provide improved handling for all weapons for a short duration. We also have sleight of hand. The problem with this one is, for example, in modes like Trials, there can be a lot of 1v1 situations. So you might not have the situation where you get to kill one guy and then swap to this one and utilize this perk as fast as you want to. So I don't think this is gonna be the perfect one. We also have Heating Up. Final blows with this weapon increase accuracy and stability while improving vertical recoil. So this can be very good after the initial kill though. However, if you're looking for a perk that is not dependent on that initial kill, then perpetual motion is going to be a very good pick for this one. Finally, in the last column for PvP, tap the trigger, easy pick. There's no firmly planted here. If there was, that's what we would go for. But tap the trigger really does make it more consistent. I can tell you that 100%. After a bunch of testing, every fusion rifle that we had with tap the trigger, 100% felt much more consistent than the ones that didn't have this perk on them. Grants a short period of increased stability and accuracy on initial trigger pull. As you can see right here, you get extra 10 stability and minus 12.5% max recoil kick and minus 2.5% accuracy cone size. So this really does help with fusion rifles. Don't forget, we also have successful warm-up, but this is also one of those perks that is really good after the first kill. Now for me personally, I'm going to be crafting two of them. One is going to be the roles that I showed you right here, and then the second one, I'm 100% going for success successful warm-up because I feel like it's just such a unique perk, and you can win some crazy 1v2s, 1v3s in a mode like Trials, for example. But since I just want that initial consistency, that's why I'm going for Tap the Trigger. And for the masterwork, go with range or stability. I'm gonna be going with stability right here. Boom. And we are at 66 stability, 75 range. We have 48 handling. Overall, this weapon is gonna feel like an absolute monster. And that's gonna be it for this video, guys. If you guys did enjoy this one, and only if you did, don't forget to slap that like button and subscribe to the channel. It really does help me out a lot. I'm also working on a video like this one for the Trials of Osiris weapons, so stay tuned for that. As always, ladies and gents, never forget to share the positive energy all around. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.